more than 40 people in this room right now. So I'll just give it another couple of minutes for everyone to join, and then we will get started. And meanwhile, we will also share our file and set up the presentation. So I'll just give it another couple of minutes, and we'll start sharp at 7:05. Okay, so Mr. Tirupati, you can send the file to Mr. Pradeep and get it started.
I've already sent, Mr. Suptio. I've already sent that actually.
Okay.
And it's there in my sent folder, so you should have already received it.
Okay. So Pradeep, you can set up the file.
Yeah, sir. Sir, can you just check in your files if that is visible then?
Slides. I'm just going to the slides. Files you said, right? It's still not visible.
Yeah, it's not visible for me as well.
Files you said, right? Files or slides?
It should be slides, one second, sir.
Pradeep, you received the file, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have more than 60 people who have joined, and I guess more will be joining. So, we should get started now. Mr. Tirupati, could you see the file yet?
No, I think so. I can't see. I'm checking files folder and slides folder, right? It's not there.
Okay, then I guess
We can share from our system also if it's
yeah,
okay.
I think that should be possible.
Okay, so Thiru, I think we can share from our system and then you can share your screen.
Okay.
So let us
I'm
do
trying
that.
to add a file. I don't think I have got an option to add a file. Okay, fine. So we can share. The slide is open on my screen already. Okay. I'm just planning to share it. Just a moment. From where I can share my screen. Yes. Yes. Turn on the screen share. Yeah. I believe everyone is able to see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So without any further delay, let us get started. So I'm very happy and excited to welcome two industry veterans in digital and analytics, Mr. Tirupati Rao Dokara and Mr. Rajat Yadav. Mr. Tirupati Rao is is a director at Capgemini in the area of analytics, and he is a chief architect and head engineering R&D products. That is, he develops analytics products, which is called, technically it is called Insights and Data. He leads the team, particularly in the areas of financial products. So things like acquisition model, risk analytics, anti-money laundering. So he leads the development of such products at Capgemini. Okay. Before this, he has been a chief architect at Wipro, in which his expertise was in providing executive leadership, and also as chief technologist and lead architect at other organizations. So Mr. Tirupati Rao he also has set up a startup in the area of analytics, and which, along with Mr. Rajat Yadav, he has worked on for quite a few years before joining in Capgemini as the director of Insights and Data at Capgemini. So a very hearty welcome to Mr. Rajat Yadav, Mr. Tirupati Rao. So we also have with us, and we are very delighted to have with us Mr. Rajat Yadav. So Mr. Rajat Yadav is a product manager at Wipro, and he is a close colleague of Mr. Tirupati Rao. They have worked together at Wipro for product development, in IT product development in various areas. He has been a principal consultant in the big data analytics area, which is another very hot area in analytics, and in almost every area, every domain in analytics is using that. So he has been a product manager in that. Before that, he has been a domain and business leader, lead business analyst. So he has risen through the ranks in Wipro, and now he is a product manager. So we have these two extremely, well qualified gentlemen, and we are really very thankful and grateful to both of them for spending their valuable time with us this evening. They are in the midst of multiple projects, multiple assignments, and other initiatives. But in the middle of all that activity, they have they have agreed to spend the time with all of us, to explain to us the kind of projects that they are working on, and the trends and the directions that analytics and digital is taking. So a big thanks to Mr. Tirupati Rao and to Mr. Rajat Yadav. So moderating this session will be Trisha from the data analytics team, data analytics committee. She will be doing most of the moderation, and as you know, this event is a joint production of the analytics committee. So we also have people like Tony and Anil and other students who are from the data analytics committee who are organizing this. Okay. So I suggest all of you, and I guess there are mostly students here, maybe some faculty members, but mostly students. So I suggest all of you should make the most of this opportunity to learn and understand what the insights that Mr. Tirupati and Mr. Rajat are bringing to us. And in particular, this is a very, very good time in your career in IFIM, because all of you are in the second term of your coursework, and the elective term is about to start in a month's time, and you have to select your majors, minors, and the courses. So you can understand from them, what is the trends in analytics and digital, and also what are the career prospects. So that you should make the most of this session. Please feel free to ask them questions through the chat window, maybe during the talk or after they have spoken. So try to make the most of this opportunity. Okay. So I'll be also there, but I'll be mostly in a passive role, I guess, and I'm pretty sure that Trisha will be there to do a fantastic job as a moderator. Okay. So with that, I will leave it to the presenters, that is Mr. Tirupati. Trisha, do you want to say anything to first to welcome the speakers?
Sir, this has been a very privileged for both of us to be here on this platform, and we as a first year students are quite happy that you will be here before our electives so that we can make a better decision with the insights and knowledge you're going to provide us.
Yes, that is why this is particularly important. So Mr. Tirupati and Mr. Rajat, as you will understand, that right now they are doing mostly their core courses, and their elective courses will start from February. So they are about to decide what courses they want to take and what kind of careers they want. So if you can, through your discussions and in your insights, if you can share some knowledge on that, then that will be really great. So with that, I hand over the presentation to Mr. Tirupati and Mr. Rajat.
Yeah, thanks much, Dr. Supriyo Ghosh. Thanks a lot. I think we are excited, and we are honored to have this, to be a part of this, wonderful session. And we are, really, excited to share our, experience and the industry, trends with the, the upcoming generations and the to be professionals of tomorrow, so that they can be equally part of this exciting journey of the industry and realize the dreams together. I'm really thanks much Supriya Ghosh for this opportunity. And good evening everyone. I welcome all of you. Okay, today's evening session of sharing our 2 cents from the industry and sharing our experience with you, clearing some doubts in the industry, how we can position ourselves. Basically, the topic we have chosen is very much relevant to the current industries and how the the tomorrow's to be a professionals. Okay, today's students who are studying in the professional courses like management and etc. What is the career options for you? What is that exciting? Everybody has modernization. What is the industry trends? And what is this era? This era is known as the digital modernization era. We're gonna understand that. Then we're gonna understand how it has already started affecting some of our lives and what lies in the future. Okay, then what is the plan and what is the reality and what is the career options and how you can align and what is the different interdisciplines of the education each individual is doing, how they can be a part of this exciting journey. Okay, this is what will be the context and the topic and the agenda of today's session. Okay, before I start up, right, I thanks providing for an in-depth introduction of myself and Rajat. Okay, to Dr. Supriya Ghosh and to the data analytic team for organizing such a wonderful seminar. Okay, of Jagdish Seth School of Management. We are really honored to be speaking in this occasion today. So I would I have got just to add more than a couple of decades of industry experience. With Rajat and I was very closely working on several things. Okay, we have developed many couple of things to be a part of this industry platforms, etc. and all. To be a one point introduction today is we both are leading the marquee products in the space of data sciences, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and blockchain in this today's era, and we are leading the space of next gen transformation. So we are here to share our experience from the ground up. Okay, to start up with, right, let me take the context and look into, like, we call this era as the era of digital modernization. What is digital modernization? Why it is required? Let us look at from the fundamental point, because we need to understand, okay, if we as the students need to become a professionals of tomorrow and try to be part of something, what is that something is all about and why that something is required and why that something is important to know, especially today. Okay, these are the points which you have to focus on. So talking about this digital modernization, right, everybody speaks about digital. What is the digital modernization? Why it is important? Let us look at the very core and the fundamental part of this digital modernization. Process transformation. This process transformation has been there since ages. Like, for example, right, how was our mobility? Initially we were traveling on foot, then we used animals, then somebody invented the wheel. We started making our mobility much more easier. Then there was an invention of locomotives, then automobiles. Okay, then of course the aircrafts and on sea, under sea. There's several modes of mobility. There's a process transformation. Okay, that is one such. In the process transformations, if you look at, right, how the industries were basically manufacturing, let's say manufacturing industry, telecom industry. Okay, telephone initially, how it was there. We used to have landline, then it has become wireless, then it has become a pages, then mobiles, okay, satellite phones and whatnot today. Okay, so how does this process transform? Why this process transformation? The process transformation is something, it is not wholly a part of digital modernization, This was one such thing which was guiding the businesses, etc., right from the the inception of this society. Okay, the social fabric, okay, which we set up for our lives and the betterment. But how this is different in this digital modernization? Okay, the goals of this process transformation have not changed. Okay, like it was like lowering the costs by putting in some automation, etc., and reducing the time to produce. That is, in reducing the cycle time of producing anything or doing anything or reaching. If you want to reach faster somewhere, you take up an flight today. Okay, there's a reducing something. What it costs. Need to be reducing the cycle of achieving something. Okay, increasing quality. So this process transformation is something has been the core guiding principles for the businesses to scale up and modernize. So we have seen across the ages of the businesses for modernizing with the mere goal of cutting down the cost, enhancing the quality, reducing the time to market and the cycle. So this was the major thing. But with the advent of digital modernization, though this is one of the main thing, it is not the only thing. So what we need to understand in this digital modernization is the connection of the process transformation to the legacy, strategy, business strategy of process transformation for these things. Now, but if you look at how the digital modernization have rapidly enhanced process transformation also, but the digital modernization process transformation is not only the goal, but the process transformation for first area where digital transformation has proven itself. A small example, if you take RPA. RPA is robotic process automation. What is a robotic process automation? Suppose if you get so many mails, right? So many mails, complaint mails or this mails, etc. There is an individual who is to open the mailbox of an enterprise or any business or any entity, look into each one of the mails, okay, respond to the mails, okay, if at all there is a, very, what to say, it is a standard response, else categorize the mail into A, B, and C and delegate it to the right department or the individuals to take it further. So normally the person does it all on his system. So this process, robotic process automation said is, why don't we take up, because he was doing things mechanically. The human intellectual and intelligence is very, very capable than an individual dedicating his whole life trying to do mechanical things. So the mechanical things which can be done in a cyclic way is not a robotic things. Like somebody, if you keep on doing the same thing, right? We heard, people saying that, why are you acting as a robot or doing that same thing the same way again and again? So when you see a certain thing can be repeatedly done in a way, that means the robotic part of a human work is taken out of the human and the robotic process automation. This, may have replaced some individuals, but rather than saying replacing an individual, you think it has relieved many individuals, human beings, to do a better job, rather taking that mechanical stuff, robotic stuff out of them and doing it much more perfectly 24/7. So the companies have cut the cost, they reduce the response cycle 24/7, and they increase the quality. Why? Because, consistency is what there is with the machines, and human consistency is, bit of the thing which is a challenge with every human being. For an example, what is the consistency? Like if you take our wonderful, star player like Tendulkar or Ganguly, they can hit double century, triple centuries in, matches. But why don't they hit in every match? We call something like, form of this batsman. So that is the human consistency across, the same activity repeatedly may not be guaranteed. Why? Because the human performance is, driven by several things: emotional, okay, trust level, physical, energy level, climatic level. So how a human being responds based on all this energy would differ. So, but with machines, right, the consistency is, once it is set, it is there. So the process the process transformation has been major beneficial with the advent of these technologies in the digital modernization. But now, how this digital modernization have taken the industries beyond process transformation? Three more areas you need to understand. You will understand the whole industries. If you understand the three more areas, let us look into business model transformation. This business model transformation you see from day in and day out. Those were the days if you have to withdraw deposit money in the bank, right? You need to go to your branch, stand in a queue, okay, and wait almost a half a day used to go off. But most of the banking transactions today you can do with a machine that known as ATM, just a furlong walkable distance from your place, okay, or by sitting at your home only to online banking, or while you're in a mobility like in a car, etc., and all going out for a vacation or transiting anywhere, right? You can take your mobile and do most of the banking activities. So the model, what is the model transformation is the core fundamental services remain the same, like deposit, withdrawal, okay, transfers, okay, request for loan, okay, all this payment of your bills, payment of your EMIs, or whatever the basic functional or the nature of the business does not change, but how these services have been rendered has been changed. If you look at more such business model transformation, look into the entertainment industry like Netflix, okay, Amazon Prime, okay, they have really revolutionized the entertainment industry. Gone are those days where we used to get the physical cassettes, then of course the CD drives and all the big drives to purchase them by we used to pay 2,000 3,000 to get one movie CD 4x etc and all. Now but just by paying mere couple of hundreds per annum or per month, you can get everything at a click, and that to multiple devices. How the same thing has been rendered differently. So the digital world, the digital modernization and transformation of the industry is helping to make individual lives much more better. You look at Uber, the auto wallow was not coming for a couple of hundreds to one point. Now you get an AC car with all entertainment, with a bottle of water, like you're treated like a prince, and you're taken from point A to point B. How it was possible? Okay, it was a digital transformation era. Okay, look at Apple. How did it really revolutionize the music initially? That was the first advent of the entertainment into the industry. So the business model transformation, okay, the business, how it renders the same core service in a different, the banking industry which we spoke about, is a resultant of this digital modernization in the industry. The industry is the same, the services is the same, but how the services are rendered is changing from day to day. So that transformation is getting a different dimensions to the industry and the market and the lives of the people in the social fabric. This is very important. Now if you look at the third aspect of the digital, there's only the fourth. One is the legacy process transformation. Second is the same thing, how to deliver in a better way. Now the domain transformation. Do you know what is the domain transformation? Amazon, right? Amazon started as an online retailer. It was an online bookstore. Then that guy Amazon expanded into a multi-brand retail chain. But Amazon was known for an online retailer, and it ventured into this space of where you look like Microsoft and IBM was holding the key from the infrastructure and the solution software point of view. Microsoft was the leader in the software, IBM was the leader in the infrastructure. How Amazon, a retail market, an online retailer, ventured into the space of IBM, which was the leader in the infrastructure, and Microsoft, which was leader in the software, and displaced them out today with AWS cloud platform. The same hardware, the same software, But how it is rendered, AWS cloud platform, Amazon is the leader in the cloud platform today, occupying the major market share. And you will surprised to know that more than 60% of revenues of the Amazon comes from its AWS cloud platform business, where it sells on-demand infrastructure and on-demand software, not from its original, business, which is online retailer. So with digital transformation, an online retailer has ventured into this space of the leaders, and the leaders who have delayed this digital transformation because IBM was doing the things in its old way, and Microsoft is doing the things in its old way. But this guy has completely taken up this era and transformation and ventured into those two leaders' space and displaced them out of the business. Now they are trying to follow up Amazon now. With Microsoft Azure, we have IBM cloud platform, but they are nowhere compared to market share and the maturity what Amazon cloud platform is today. This is what digital transformation is so important. It is not a point of choice to the businesses. I'm not talking for the businesses itself. It's from any entity, let it be governmental, non-governmental, social, anything. If you're not catching up or starting this journey today, you're going to lose much. It is not the question or an option. It is not cosmetic at all. It is something which is survival. You'll not be there tomorrow if you're not going to take up this journey. So the digital transformation has helped a retailer display two major players who are struggling to catch up with this guy now. That is what, the digital transformation gets to an industry. So the domain transformation, now Amazon's much of the revenue comes from its non-core domain. Its core domain is online, sales portal, retail portal. It comes from infrastructure and the software. That is the major shift. Now you look at the cultural and organizational transformation. That means the digital transformation is not about software, not about, only automation or infrastructure or this thing. It is about everything. Even about the cultural and the structural of the organization. You look at one example of Experian. Experian is a consumer credit agency which shifted. Initially, it was focusing on its instruments, and infrastructure was the focus of Experian's establishment of the business and success. But Experian understood the digital transformation and shifted its focus out of infrastructure and equipment to the people. The whole organization structure and the culture changed today, and it is one of the most successful digital transformed in the current age. Experience to take up, and how volumes, it has displaced the other because of this transformation. It success itself only talks about. So, what is this 4 dimensions is very important here. The digital modernization, not only to the businesses, though we are talking from the businesses mostly, we're going to talk from the businesses during this discussion, but in any aspects of the social fabric, the digital modernization is important. The digital modernization, the business modernization, which is basically a process transformation or modernization, was a legacy thought process, but with the advent of the digital modernization, the process modernization, could really boom out to the extent it can. It transformed the way. I've told you about RP as an example, but it brought about 3 other goals: the model transformation, the domain transformation. That means anybody can venture into any domain. A chai wala can start selling gold, a gold wala can start selling chai. Reliance is even doing the hair cutting, gold shops, retailer, apparels and everything. That is what a digital transformation. There is no specific domain. You can be all in all. That is what digital transformation can do to an organization. Spread across. And the cultural and transformation is also very important. And what cultural and transformation and particular organization has to take, this digital transformation or modernization aspect has a very important, aspect into that. So we need to look at the businesses in the digital modernization age from this 4-dimensional perspective. So the digital modernization in the business is nothing but process transformation, business model transformation, domain transformation, cultural and organizational structure transformation. When the organization is, looking at these four aspects, right, it is on the path of digital transformation, on the right path to journey of success and progress. So this is what digital
Mr.
transformation.
Tirupati, if I can just interrupt you, just to understand in this context, because you mentioned about Reliance, and that is a very pertinent example now. So, as we know that Reliance has been a traditionally an oil and gas player, um, with maybe some bit in retail. But now, over the last few years, we have seen that they have forayed so much into Geo. They have set up the Geo platform with Facebook investment and all that. So I guess that is also a very good example of digital modernization.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. That is the domain transformation. They are spanning into every domain possible. And the organization is more stable. Organization of banking on a, the legacy organization, banking was banking, retailer was retail, clothing was clothing, apparels. They was not used to venture into each other's space at all because
Yes.
there was no opportunity to do that. But in the digital era, that is very easy. As you've seen, right? With Reliance is a perfect example in India. And in the world, they look into Amazon, where is, online retailer to infrastructure and the software services, leader. They have displayed. So this is what digital transformation does to a business.
And in fact, following Reliance, I guess it would be the Tatas who are going into online retailing with probably the acquisition of Big Basket, which has been one news coming out in the business press last few days. So I
Yes.
guess both Tata and Reliance, they
That
are.
is a part of their domain transformation in this digital modernization strategy. In the organizational digital modernization strategy, spanning into different domains is one aspect of the digital modernization strategy, which is
Yeah.
domain transformation.
And also, I would like to add actually here, Dr. Ghosh, like in this digital, transformation journey, we will see in this coming slides how much data science is important actually, right? AI, machine learning is playing the vast and what you can say main role actually, right, in doing getting these companies ready for the transformation, right? So we will see, right,
Yes.
what are the opportunities available for our for the students, right, and where they are standing as of now, right? It is the right time actually to choose the career, and there is a vast opportunities, and now also data science is impacting our day-to-day lives, right? But lot of innovation is still needed actually, right? So yes, so we will see actually, we will we'll touch that point also, Dr. Bush.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to, there's a very good questions, actually, very good pointed questions, because, people are welcome to ask such questions so that, we can really clear the concept. Now, the four aspects of the digital modernization, how does the company would strategize on the action items of which area it has to venture into? Okay, how does the company would strategize on that? Okay, so what is the driving factors for the companies and organizations in the digital modernization? Okay, we understood that we need to do digital modernization, strategize it, plan it, and make it a reality. Of course, from the process transformation, but the model transformation, domain transformation, cultural. So, how do I take up my goals and objectives and my action items as an entity? Could business or non-business, whatever entity I am. How do I do that? What is the driving factor for me to decide on what I need to do under these four, the strategic categories for digital modernization? Who will tell me what is the driving factor? Now, if you look at that point, right, a one liner thing, and an article was there in the Information Age magazine. Okay, what it boldly asserts that data science is the driving force behind the digital transformation. For an entity to decide on what digital transformations it need to take from these four perspectives, data science, embracing the data science has a part of the organization culture for data-driven business decision-making and automation. It is data-driven. Initially, the automation was business logic and rule-driven. But a data-driven business, decision-making and automation is the changing the enterprise's strategy to bank and rely on data for more of their business decisions, and automations would help them achieve this, the goals, and set up the goals and achieve those goals in this era of digital transformation. So what we're going to do from now is we're going to look into this digital transformations from two perspectives. Okay, one perspective is we're going to look at how this data sciences, which was the driving factor for this, how the different organizations have embraced them, and how they have already made our life bit better. We're going to look into those examples. Next, we're going to look into that examples of how the future would look if the organization keep moving forward in this, perspectives with, the goal and objectives and the strategic plan going ahead. And then we're going to look into how we can be part of this exciting journey with our careers and multidisciplines and skill set. So these are the three aspects more awaiting. I would request, Rajat to, briefly, provide an overview of what data science is and what are the examples, or what are the, transformations which already, we are too dependent on it. Rajat, please.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Thanks, Thiru. You can do one more click on the slide, please. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yes. So, hello, everyone. So, as we have seen right till now that, we understood that digital transformation, which is what needed, right? And then data science will be an integral part of the digital transformation, right? So, we will see, right, that what is data science basically, right? Why it is important. Okay. So, see, data science is nothing but the study of the data, right? Everything, you see, everything boils down to data only. Okay, so it is, if I say in just one sentence, right, the definition, it is about extracting, analyzing, visualizing, and getting the insights using the data. Okay, and there are many what you can say things, right, we can learn, right, while we work on the data science. It is a very vast field. We will touch upon that point also in the today's presentation, right, that what you can do, right, you can be a engineering background, you can be of science background, commerce background, you can be of any background basically, right? If you want to be a part of this journey, right, you can, because it is a vast field and it encompasses lot of what you can say industries, right? So it is basically the fuel for business, right? And almost all industries, if I can talk about, like banking, finance, manufacturing, transport, e-commerce, everybody uses data science, and data science is the technology of the future. Okay, so Thiru, can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, yeah. So we will see, how data science is changing, our life as of now, right? What are the different applications of the data science which we are seeing in our day-to-day life, and how it is touching our lives now? Okay, and having said that, I would say that, there is a lot of scope for innovation, right, in this area. Okay, so we can confidently say that in future data science will define how we live our lives. Companies do their business, government implement various policies efficiently and intelligently, right? Okay, so in the coming slides, we will see some of the data science applications which have already implemented, and we are using them on a day-to-day basis. Yes, next slide. Yes. So here you see, we all of us do this online shopping, right? We use Amazon, Flipkart, and other shopping websites. So data science, they have many applications here in this business, right? They are doing personalized marketing using data science, intelligent cross-selling and upselling, Then inventory management, right? Whatever is, suppose, whatever you buy, right? They do one day delivery, right? So because using data science, these companies know actually, right, what is your need, right? What product you will order in the coming days, right? They know in advance, okay, based on your profile, right? So all those items, they are already stocked up, right? Inventory management has taken place, right? They do the trend forecasting, right? Customer life value prediction, they do recommendation engines, they have. All of these use data science only. Next. Right. Now, this is for your, OTT, right? We are seeing your Netflix and your, Amazon videos and all those, right? So they also use a lot of data science, machine learning, AI, right? Like they use something called as CTR, like click-through rates, right? Which is a self-learning algorithms, right? So through that algorithm, they refine your learning, viewing personal experience they provide to you. Next. Yeah. Now we can talk to the devices, right? We have Alexa, we have Siri, right? So there is a concept called natural language processing in data science, right? You will learn, right? So in natural language processing, using that algorithm, right? These Alexa, Siri, and other, voice recognition softwares, they work. Yeah.
There are a couple of questions and comments on the chat box. So,
Okay.
so Trisha, can you just um, point those questions to Mr. Rajat?
Yes, sir. So Rugved has a question. He wants to know the difference between the data scientist and data analyst.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, that's a good question.
We will
There are
we will address that question. We have the topic
yeah.
at the end. We will address
Yeah.
that question when we go there.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so this is something, we will be covering actually, because yeah. And I can see question from Anil also. There were government bodies who used to work with data and data science since the beginning, like weather forecast, census, budgeting, and all the department related to it. Yes, Anil actually, see, data science and analyzing the data, using the data for business, so it is not a new field actually, right? Right now what we are seeing here is, we are seeing different new technologies which are coming into the picture, and which is making this field, very competitive and innovative. Also, you can see now we are seeing a lot of data which is coming actually, right? Earlier the data size was not that huge. Okay, so we need actually different new technology, right, to process this huge data, right? That is what is defining, the current technology, right? But if you ask me, this data engineering and all, right, it is not that a new field which has come up now, right? It was there since long, right? Through, you want to add something?
Yeah. So basically, this is also we planned actually in a topic, but I would take up the question here. See, the
Yeah.
difference now is initially you are analyzing the data. Data analytics is there right from the inception of our social fabric of our society. There was some or the other type of data analytics, but how it is different now. So, for example, right, just to be very brief and short on it, how do you learn? How an human being learns? Okay, from the time he is born as an infant to grows up to a profession, how does he learn? He learns by what he sees. He learns by the reward and punishment mechanism. If he does something, he gets praised and accolades. If he does something wrong, people will warn him, mind him, and punish him. And he learns by hearing. Okay, he learns by seeing. He learns by touching. Okay, he learns by so many things. Okay, he learns. Now, what all he sees is an information. What all he hears is an information. Okay, what all he feels is an information, and what all he experiences is an information. Now, if you see what an individual sees, feels, hears, okay, and experiences in today's world of digital era, all this is in the form of the data. There is cameras everywhere. There is videos everywhere. There's photographs everywhere. There is, people share their peace of mind in the social media like Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, or whatever it is. The huge number of data. There's not only I'm talking about social, it is a business. So there's huge amount of data. So that means whatever an individual can learn through the senses, through vision, through hearing and etc., which is basically an information or knowledge he's gaining and improving himself to be a professional or a person who can contribute to the constructive society. Now, all this available in the form of the data, structured, unstructured, or semi-structured data. Now, how do you take this data and impart intelligence, a smarter intelligence, and create programs and application softwares which can think and act like a human being with the same common sense and knowledge? Because all the knowledge is in the form of the data. So the data sciences and data analytics differ in the point. In the data sciences, you try to create a smarter applications which can think and act like a human being and can replace human being in most of the activities. And they can create a society where machines and human beings can collaborate together for the benefit of everybody. Now it is mostly human beings with a bit of machines. It would become 50-50% or 60-40% in going, in the coming future, where you will have a smarter application software. You need not instruct them. They themselves will take, an action like a human being or your subordinate there. So that is the change in the data analytics and data sciences. In data analytics, you're deriving, what if and what else, analysis and looking into what is there. And you're using some statistical and mathematical algorithms to predict something. But in data sciences, you're totally trying to create this smarter artificial, intelligent softwares which can think and act like a human being. So that is the major difference. Yeah, Rajat, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I hope it answers your question, Rugved and Anil. Yeah. Okay. So I was, just explaining about the way, data science, the different applications we have as of now, right? And other application, of this is in the travel websites, right? So, here, data science is helping us, for the flight fares and hotel price forecasting. Okay. So all those things, we can do. We have different chatbots, right, in the travel sites, which help us, which provides us a very good, you can say, different, you know, what you can say, if you want to go somewhere, right, they give us good offers and all, right. So offers are also created using different data science algorithms. Okay, based on our interest, based on our search trends. Okay, based on the climate conditions and all the things are collated, and those different offers are created and passed on to the customers. Okay, so all this is done using data science. Next. And this is social networking, right? All of us know now that social networking is such a influential thing, right, in the current age, and in the future also, right, it will dominate the, what you can say, our lives, right? So in social media, right, we do the predictive analytics, right? They use prescriptive analytics, predictive analytics. They do face recognition. They use AI to identify visuals, right? Heavily, right? Social networking is one such area, right, where data science and all, it is used heavily, actually, right? It is help in, you can see, right, in politically, right, while doing elections and all, right? It uses, it relies on data, and we have data. There are data engineers, right, data scientists and all, who are working on giving actionable alerts, actually, right, to the team, right, which will help them for their business purpose, right? So these are some of the areas. So why we just try to explain all this, because to help you understand, right, that it is data science area which which you may take, right, like as a career option, right? It is a very, very one promising field, right? And no matter what your background is, you can still, you can contribute, right? You can work in it, and you can contribute in this area, actually, right? Either from the domain side or from the engineering side, right? There are a lot of career options available, and we will try to touch that today. And Rugved, your question we will take in detail, right, about the data scientist and analyst. And also there are other what you can say, roles also, right? How those roles are different, right? That also we plan to take it today. Yes, Thiru.
Yeah, thanks, Rajat. Now, Rajat has given a sneak peek into what, the data scientists have already done to our, lives. Okay. And let us take, some of these exciting, fields where the data science is doing a really progress. A lot of investment and, the job market or the require of the, professionals is there in this area. Then we're going to look into the career options. Okay. This will be about 2 stages now. Looking into the future of the digital modernization, we are here today because of digital modernization. How are we going to go from here? Okay, beyond. Okay, let us look into few of the industries. Let us looking into healthcare. Okay, I've been fortunately part of one such major thing where we have created a wearable devices. Okay, where the people can wear the wearable devices, and before the individual can get a heart attack, right? Before he can get a heart attack, because after an individual gets an heart attack, most of his organs are damaged, especially the heart. Even though he's saved, he can saved from that attack, but his organs are damaged to a greater extent. So if an individual can be identified before getting a heart attack and taken to the hospital at the right time and treated right, and that completely avoiding that illness at all, it can help that guy individual live a better life for a couple of decades more. Okay, it will add couple of decades of life to that individual. So I've been fortunately part of such an initiative where we have done this, where the automatically your wearable device can book an ambulance, book an appointment with the doctor, and it will alert you to stay where your ambulance will come, and it will say the Google location, pick you up and take to the hospital before the heart attack really comes, attacks you. Okay, so it does the predictive mechanism. Okay, and prescriptive mechanism in healthcare. What treatment should be given. Now, if you look at that, if you get a small common cold, you visit 2 doctors, 2 opinions we get. What is the right treatment? Okay, for some of the critical ailments, what is the right treatment, especially the cancerous patient, right? Many lives if you are in the hands of a better doctor at an early stages. But if at later stages, if you go to a better doctor who treats you in the right mechanism, that may create, you may not, live. Had you gone to him earlier, you would have, you would have come out of this, illness at all. Those sort of things, the democratized treatment is not available because everybody carries their own opinion. What is the right, treatment for an individual? The prescriptive, treatment, etc. and all. If you look at the healthcare industry, right? The healthcare industry is non-sustainable without the digital modernization, and data sciences are transforming this industry like anything. And if you look at this industry has already created 2.3 million jobs, and there's a lot of scarcity in these jobs itself, because they are not finding the right individual. And there is trillions and trillions of investment into the industry for this, digital modernization and era of AI, AI, ML, robotics, and data sciences. This industry is in the forefront. Why? Because it is a question of survival for the industry. It is not scalable. You see, right, how we were, putting pressure and straining our doctors with just because of a viral, pandemic which hit the world now. Healthcare industry is non-sustainable at all. It need to get much more digital modernized. Your doctor should be your mobile phone. Mobile phone should be able to treat you for most of the elements. Only for the critical ailments, you need to go to the hospital. That, era will come. That day is not too far away. Etc. and all, very, very, very optimistic on this industry. Okay, in this modern era.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you in between, but we are getting a lot of questions, so I'll ask the participants to wait till the presentation.
The modernization of the healthcare. So one recent trend and upcoming trend would be, personalized medicine. So a medicine which is, for the same ailment, a medicine which is correct for you, it may not be correct for me, and vice versa. So that kind of, personalized medicine is also about to come based on, each individual's condition and their physical condition and things like that. And in fact,
We
what
took
that
a very wonderful example, Supriyo. We took a
yeah,
wonderful example.
yeah, and what that will actually do is that it will entirely transform the way medicines are manufactured, because if it is personalized, then you cannot do like a bulk manufacture, and it has to be custom made medicines for each individual person. So the way medicines are manufactured and distributed, the entire industry supply chain of that will be entirely transformed. So that is the huge potential that is probably waiting around the corner. I just
Absolutely right. And none other can data science can, is the core driving factor in this, digital transformation. And
yes,
coming to, a couple of other areas, right, where I see the lot of excitement is in this, the self-driving cars. The self-driving cars are not luxury, but they are lifesavers. Okay. You see how many lakhs of people die, across the world, millions of people die. And it's not on one individual, who lost his life in an accident. It is a couple of families, okay, who lose their, life, momentum because of an individual, losing his life early because of, carelessness at either side or a mistake by anybody. But if the self-driving, automobiles come into the field, right, they cannot minimize but completely avoid accident, because they are not a luxury, they are lifesavers, first of all. Okay. There is a, trillions and trillions of dollars of investment. Tesla wanted to monopolize this market, but Tesla understood it can alone not build it. It has open sourced all its, work done so far. Google, General Motors, Toyota, Honda, many others are pulling. There is a huge market boom in this. Trillions of dollars investments are there, millions of jobs are going to get created. It is one of the exciting field. Lot has been done this area, and lot of billions and billions of dollars people have already invested, and more is going to come in this area. This is one of the exciting area where the future would look like, with a zero accident, and with you don't require traffic signals at all. When you have a self-driving car, they can tell who is urgency. No ambulance need to wait, no security person need to have the police standing, hundreds of police are standing. All this will be a memories of the past. We have given many applications even to our Hyderabad commissioner of the traffic department. We will discuss more on that someday. Okay. So that is one thing. The another thing is our annadatas. We see some laws are coming, some government is trying to open up. There's a different opinions in this area, but if you look at this, the agriculture, right, this field is one of the field where very tough job has to be done by our farmers. They have to toil, they risk their future, their finances and everything, and they try to grow and food for us. Okay, without them, there is no food for us to eat actually. Now, how do you transform? If you look at, right, agriculture robotics market is about to blow up, and agriculture robotics market is something which would create an unprecedented job growth. Okay, it will have a 13 trillion market capitalization by 2022. This is what the premier the consulting companies are predicting. And there will be a lot of cultivation for better food. It will bring down the food inflammation and make food available to everybody, and nobody may require to sleep hungry. Okay, the food might be available out of box to the individual. So such an era we will enter because of digital modernization. Nobody will die of hungry or need to sleep empty stomach any day. So this is what digital modernization would affect our social fabrics in such a way. What could be better than this? Because we heard in our childhood, like in heavens, people get whatever they want to do, wherever go, they need not pay anything. Probably, earth could be heaven in coming days because of this digital modernization. Nothing wrong to be too optimistic about things. Okay, this is one such era. There is a lot opportunity, but more exciting about this era is we may not be really tied up to the cities and the pollution, streets and traffic roads. We may be going in a countryside and working for the one of the nichest of the technologies of AI, ML and robotics. So that is again a fun and excitement for you to be cheering about. Okay. And the
so
another era where a lot of risky and laborious
just
jobs there, where individual
just
does in the case of
interject,
industry.
just to quickly interject, Mr. Tirupati. So On that agricultural front, in the farming sector, so already applications are being done, by using the image processing of the fruits or the vegetables. So by doing the image processing, the farmer will be able to understand, which fruits are good and which ones are rotten or not ripe. So using machine learning and image processing, it can be done. It is already being done, and that can drastically improve the kind of price that the farmer gets in the market. Because once he can do that, then he can assure the quality of his products, and he can command a better price also. So
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
already.
And the government, currently opening up the markets for the farmers, okay, for their, the ease of, selling their crops and, going global with it. They can sell, understand the global market trends and grow, which is the better and reap better, revenues also. Absolutely right. Yeah. So, coming to this point, and, the one such area of the construction industry where, very, very, very risky, critical, and very hard job, people will, the human beings, our, friends, build up this such a beautiful, infrastructure for us. It does not come at the cost of the individual stress and strains and physically. Okay. When you see them, building them, right, it is one of the very, very risky, critical jobs they are doing. In With the advent of the digital modernization, right, 50% of all the risk jobs and labor jobs will be taken over by robotics, and all our friends will not lose a job, but upskill themselves to control them remotely and construct better infrastructure in whether it is domestic or commercial or the social fabric infrastructure, whatever they're gonna do, okay, in a much more shorter time with a good quality and with a less risk to human life and an effort actually. So this is one such area. There is a lot of positions are being created already. Most of the advanced countries are already using robotics, and in one of the major areas of the construction, even in India, we have been using this robotics to an extent, but there is a very, very long way to go. And if you look at L&T itself, right, L&T itself is having one of the biggest data science and artificial intelligence department, okay, within itself, and they're spending so much within in-house and they are taking consulting to transform themselves to the next gen. And if you look at the roadmap and vision, right, India can achieve this stage very shortly. So there is a lot of good opportunities. Why I'm telling each one of them, right? The management students take up several domain perspectives. The engineering students comes from several the subject matter, the areas of civil engineer, chemical engineer. There's an opportunities everywhere. Data science is not for only computer students, okay, or for the statistical or mathematical students. Totally wrong. Data science is for everybody, because the digital transformation is required in every industry, and how this digital transformation in an industry has to be done, it will be defined by domain people or the business peoples in that industry. Computers, professions might be providing tools, softwares, and the facilities to do that, and mathematical and statistical guys would be really aiding to you know derive those intelligence of the data and meet the goals and objectives. It is a collaborative work from an interdisciplinary professionals, okay, whichever discipline and stream you are, you can be a part of the data science and play that specific role. So that is where is the thing is. Okay, so these are the few areas of the futures, I said. In the one last area where I tell you, right, how wrongly we have been, in ignorance all these days, especially in surgery. I will take the same example of our batsmen like Ganguly, Tendulkar, or Dravid, or anybody, right? They are one of the world-class batsmen. They have been hitting couple of centuries in a single one-day match also. But once they don't hit up in any match, right, we say they are not in form. We excuse them. But do we treat our doctors and surgeons the same? A surgeon, today has to perform more than a couple of surgeries or 5 surgeries in a day, and is supposed to do that every day, including sometimes in the weekend. And we want him to hit century every time. Is it possible? It is not the question of intent being there or not. And human performance and efficiency doesn't depend on one thing. It depends on multiple factors. His knowledge and capability and experience is only one aspect. He's emotional, his emotions at home, his emotions with his family, friends, okay, his health conditions, his presence of mind, his energies on a particular day, several things, define and performance of an individual. And such individual is supposed to perform every time. It is not possible for him to perform with the same precision. But there is a life here in the case of medical sciences. We expect our surgeons and doctor to perform and be successful in every surgery they do, because it is a life there. We are putting a lot of strain in them. That's why you see a lot of lives are being lost. With the advent of digital modernization, you don't require surgeons. Surgeons may just need to share their knowledge and experience when they are energetic in a full sense of an with a healthy mind, and the machine will learn that, and with just the support of some assistant, a critical to critical surgery can be performed with precision, and that can do 24/7 surveys and multiple places, even villages also. The top-notch surgeon of the world can go with his knowledge and do that, because physically he may not be going, remotely the knowledge is taken by the robotic machine and it is performing the surgery. So such a transformation in the industry, in our social fabric, in our lives, and it's going to come up, and it's going to make it better, and the best. Okay, so the digital transformation, I'm telling you, is not a career option, is not a career field, it is not a choice. It is something which is the need of the hour. It is something which is, tied up to the survivability of any entity. Any entity is not taking up this journey, it is not there. So, since there are many questions, right, I'm gonna just skip up this slide. Actually, I put up this slide to kickstart some questions from your end. I'm just showing it for 10 seconds so that I can go back to the other areas of your interest of career. We wanted you to just have a glance at these things. Okay, will robotics replace human beings in space? With with more and more jobs being taken up by robots, now individuals pay income tax, right? Government is dependent on IT. We every time criticize the government if the work is not done properly, saying that they're misusing our the taxpayers' money. When there is no individual working, no salary drawn by a robot, the tax income get reduced by the government. So do the government start taxing robots? Our domestic helps, the overcoming, legacy thinking. There are few of the things I put in, but I'm going to skip it, not, thing, because I already have your question. I'm going to take up those questions. I was just wanted to give you a put part thought. And in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to touch on the career and take up your questions. Okay, for better. So our career options, what it lies ahead. Okay. So before going to the career options, I'm going to, put a light on what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, what is the deep learning. Artificial intelligence is everything. Okay, what machines can do. When a machine can replace a human being, it is artificial intelligence. If machine can do the things in a way a human being can do, it is an artificial intelligence. Okay, whether it is a software or it's a robotic or anything, if machine can chat with you as a human being can chat, it is artificial intelligence. Anything where a machine, which it could be a software or a hardware, can replace a human being, that aspect of innovation or development or a field of science or the work is known as artificial intelligence. It's as simple as that. What is machine learning? What is deep learning? We'll come to deep learning. But in a sense of hierarchy, machine learning is nothing. It is also an artificial intelligence. Deep learning is nothing. It is machine learning, which is again an artificial. That is, machine learning, deep learning is also artificial intelligence, but why they are separate? Now, artificial intelligence can be achieved in several ways. We can, create, the rule-based, logic-based, and all, like, your tic-tac-toe program, your chess, they are not machine learning or deep learning. Though now we are creating, chess and tic-tac-toes with machine learning and deep learning. But initially, when they were rule-based. Actually, they were rule-based. Okay, anything you do is artificial intelligence, but in a specific era. Just hold on with machine learning and deep learning. How they are different is the machine learning, whenever a machine learns by itself, is known as machine learning. Whenever a machine learns by itself in a way a human being learns, it is known as deep learning. A machine learning by itself is known as machine learning. A machine learning by itself in a way a human brain learns is known as deep learning. But how does a machine learn by itself? We have eyes, ears, nose, smell, and senses, so that we hear, see, and things, and get the knowledge and information, and all the KTs from our gurus, and we learn and become a professional, or from our parents, families. We get all the sanskaras and culture, and we become one among the nice person in the society. But how does machine learn? Machine can learn given that information or knowledge in the form of data. If you give all the knowledge and information in the form of data, whereby the knowledge and information how a human being receives through his eyes, ears, and all his sense organs, if you give that information, knowledge in form of data, machine can learn like a human being. So machine learning using statistical and mathematical algorithm is known as machine learning study. Machine learning using neural networks, because human beings have a neural network. The deep neural networks, if the machine learns, it similarly has the human being learn, it is known as deep learning. That is the just difference and commonality. If you look at, right, this is artificial intelligence, this is learning, this is deep learning, this is your data, whole of your data engineering. Okay, this is big data field. Okay, in this big data field, the data you're passing to the machine learning, the machine is learning all that intelligence. What is required is passed down in the form of the data. All the information passed down in the form of the data, machine is learning. The data is the main ingredient for machine and deep learning, not for all artificial intelligence. So that part of artificial intelligence where the machines can learn automatically is known as machine learning. That part of artificial intelligence where machine can learn in the form, in a way the human brain can learn, is known as deep learning, which is a subset of machine learning, and deep and machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Now, what is data sciences again? Okay, if all this is this, what is data sciences? Before coming to data sciences, let us see where the analytics rise. Okay, analytics we have been doing initially, traditionally on data. But with the advent of the digitalization, etc., and all, analytics getting the human brain. Human brain out of what? Through machine learning models and deep learning model. So analytic, plugged with machine learning and deep learning model is becoming big data analytics. Okay, the advanced AI ML analytics which was only purely on data, but data combined with deep learning and machine learning, which is giving it a brain of a human brain, an artificial brain. It is being AI ML analytics. Okay, so that is where analytics lies in. So here it is the data engineering, big data field. This is your analytics field. This is your AI, and this is the machine learning and deep learning. This is how they are related. Now, what is data sciences again in this? Okay, if you look at this part is your data science. Okay, the part of the data, the analytics, machine learning and deep learning fall in your data sciences. Machine learning and deep learning fall into your data sciences. Not all artificial intelligence comes into data sciences. That part of artificial intelligence where machines can learn automatically given the data in the form of knowledge or information in the form of data, that part of things fall into your data sciences. So your data sciences and the artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning is like this. So data sciences, everything data, analytics, machine learning, deep learning is your data sciences. And artificial intelligence could be something, again, which replaces a human being, but not automatically learned through data. That part is left over, else everything is your data sciences. So now, this is a brief about data sciences. And two more slides I would like to just focus on. Okay, from your discipline point of view, I'm just hurrying because of the time. Okay, I'm just gonna complete within 3 minutes more. Understanding various disciplines in the era of data modernization. See, you, as I understand, you are the management experts, you are the business experts, or any other domain expert like civil engineer, chemical engineer, who is not a computer specialist. Okay, you are here. There is a computer science specialist here. There are others like commerce, science, mathematical science graduates are here. Everybody, data science is common. That is the common and the root thing, and you need to be associated with it. How you have been associated with it? Now, if you look at like this, right? You look at the computer science, machine learning, data science, and process automation software they are associated with. In machine learning, they make all the softwares and the platforms which required for enabling the industries to leverage this data sciences and the digital automation. They are providing all softwares and platforms for process automation. The commerce and the science graduates are using this process automation softwares like testing, DevOps for data ops, AI, ML ops, and helping the industry, create this pipeline. And they are, able to, develop good reports and, all these things using their, mathematical and statistical knowledge. But what reports to develop, who will tell them? Okay, and what is the roadmap of how a particular process need to be automated? For example, the banking transactions of debit and credit, the teller transactions need to be automated. How a teller transaction need to be automated? Okay, what should be the roadmap? Which need to be taken like this? So that comes from the domain and business experts. Okay, the entire roadmap of how the goals and objectives are the need to be taken up as a part of the digital modernization within the industry under the 4 perspective strategies we saw earlier, right? The complete thing is set and decided by the business and domain experts. Okay, once that is set, then there is a tools and softwares as a continuous innovation by the computer science, and those things are taken and implemented by the commerce science and mathematical statistical graduates. Okay, but one thing is common for either building the tools or for specifying the goals, objectives, and roadmap, or for implementing this same all of this interdiscipline individuals need to understand data sciences. Data science is the core of everything. So that is one point there. Okay, coming to your skill sets. Okay, because I get a lot of questions when I speak to students. So that's why I added this couple of slides actually, because they say that do I require to code in data sciences? No, not necessary. Which side you are in? If you are a computer science graduate who are developing tools and platforms, etc., yes, you need to understand databases and all those things, big data analytics and coding. But if you are commerce graduate, mathematical, etc., you need to understand how the analytics, data mining, the ML skills, etc., and all. But if you're a business domain and you're a domain expert, you need to be an SME and you need to understand the roadmap, how the credit rating can be taken up, how the credit risk can be identified when an individual comes for loan within a bank, how a particular online retail can transform itself going into this 4 perspectives for the cultural transformation, the model transformation, so domain transformations, the process transformation. So the goals and objectives are set by the domain people. They need to do coding. Not everybody does the coding. But to set up the goals and objectives, you need to understand the capabilities of something, then only you can set up, right? Okay, so this is where the most of the questions come. I've just put this slide. I know you people are very smart and asking some questions. Okay, I'm just putting this slide. I'm not talking more in this area. In the last 2 minutes I'll talk. Now I'm ready to take up the questions. Okay, let us take up the questions. Okay, Rajat, can you read out the questions for me?
Sir, I'll do that.
Yeah, please.
So, sir, the first question we had from Rugved. I believe, Rugved, your doubt is clear as of now, right? The difference between data scientist and data analyst?
The difference between data scientist and data analyst, I think I already told. It is,
yes,
the data analyst, we're talking to the data science again. Okay, I gave initially an explanation to complete. Now talking from the data analyst and data science's point of view. See, for example, there are 2 individuals, right? So if our elders tell that if you're in a group of individuals of good company, you're gonna tend to become a good individual. If you're in a company of the bad individuals, you're gonna become a bad individual. Okay, what does that mean? What you get to hear, listen, etc., that environment imparts all this thing, you learn the same thing. So similarly, the data analyst job in the data science is basically to ensure, because we are passing all the knowledge and information in the form of data to the robotic this data science algorithm, the AI ML algorithm, okay, the deep learning algorithm. Data is correct or not? How correct is this data with respect to what automations or what artificial intelligence you want this machine learning algorithms to learn? So the data analyst job is basically to ensure and prepare the data for this AI ML modeling. Actually, the data scientist is, once the data is prepared, he will look into, see to apply which algorithms, which techniques of this machine learning, deep learning, and AI techniques to really learn from this data and create that artificial intelligence which is required. So this is the basic difference what I can tell you in short. Can I have a next question, please?
Yes, sir. The next question is from Aman. Aman says, as in beginner in service market of analytics, which service, which area he should be focusing in to start his career with.
Sorry, I couldn't get the question. Can you come back again?
Yes, sir. Aman wants to know, since he is starting his career, so which would be the domain in analytics that he should start his career with?
Okay. See, and analytics is again because people start using analytics and everything as a synonyms, data science, analytics, and synonyms. But the truth is, analytics is a part of the data sciences. Now, if you're looking at starting your career in analytics, right, there are several parts of analytics. Okay, one is the visualization and the presentability, which is known as UI UX. Okay, now you have the intelligence, you have the data. Okay, now the facts are there. Now, how do you want to communicate this fact? Okay, how do you visually communicate these facts? You have terabytes of conclusions. Let us say hundreds and thousands of rows of conclusion from the terabytes of data. How do you want to present this? Okay, like simple English. If I have to talk, like which the visual graphs, visual charts. What you gonna use, when you gonna use one. Okay, what is the categorical value, what is the numerical value, okay, which visual presentation need to be used when, how the UI need to be designed. So basically the analyst job is visual analyst we call it. So this is one aspect of the job, okay, where you look into the presenting the information in a visual form and designing the UIX, the user experience. Now coming a bit lower, okay, when you look from the analyst job, analytical job, right, there is the legacy part of it, what if analysis from the business of the actually finding out or in extracting answers to the questions, okay, which is the legacy thing, creating your BI reports, business intelligence reports they call it. But in the data sciences, the analyst job is totally changed. The analyst, whenever we say, right, analyst by default now it means data analyst. So you need to understand which data is appropriate in complete. For example, right, I'm creating a robot to do the heart surgery. How do I know that all the information and the knowledge which is required for a heart surgeon to operate upon the heart has been given to this robot, so that now he is a perfect heart surgeon? How do I know? How do I know that all variations of the scenarios have been covered in the data? Okay, what is the variability of the data? Not the one part. Second part of it is, suppose I've trained an heart surgeon on 10 critical scenarios, and whenever that one of the 10 critical scenarios comes, he can operate. Now a patient has come. Does this patient belong to one of the 10 critical scenarios, a totally different scenario? If that robot is allowed to operate upon that patient, right, he might kill the patient because it has not encountered such a situation. If the robot doesn't have an does it have automatic learning and handling capabilities? So from the data analyst point of view, there is something known as data variabilities and several other parameters with respect to data. When we look at from the statistical point of view of distributions, we look into the data variability, we look into the data. So basically in the data sciences, right, a data analyst should be a good statistical person, understand the data as is, understand the sampling techniques, etc., because you're not gonna get everything. And you need to understand what the data is, where the how much information is there in data, what all the actual variables in this data with respect to the domain. So these are your aspects in this thing to take up a career
Yeah,
as a data
and Biro,
analyst, right? Yeah.
yeah. Well, I would like to add. So, Aman, and for all of you actually who are listening, see, if you are, because you will start your career now, right? So, what you should focus is you should try to learn the technology. That is good that you will study, but more importantly, you should focus on domain, right? Suppose where are you getting your jobs, right? In healthcare or in advertising or in retail. So the understanding of the business is very important actually. See, in data science, you are as Thiru mentioned, right? In the deep learning and machine learning, you have to tell the machines to learn, right? Unless you know in depth, right, what is the business all about, you will not be able to tell the machines, right? So you should focus on understanding the domain, okay, the business. That is very helpful actually. That will be helpful actually in your overall career journey. Okay. So
That
whatever
is
area you choose, right, you can join any area, right? You are asking, right, which area you should join, right? Based on your interest, right? What is your interest area, right? You are more a finance guy. Very good. It is a very vast field actually. You can join finance industry. Okay, and you can do the analytics part there as well, right? But you should see what is your interest. Based on that, you should decide actually. Yes, Guru.
Yes, absolutely. For them, the domain as well as the technology is very important. So they can decide accordingly.
Yeah, see, yeah, Ghosh sir, the thing is technology is somewhat generic, uh,
Yes,
they need to learn, right? But domain is something which you will keep on adding as your worth actually, right? That is what experience tells you, right?
yes,
So as of now you have so much information available on the internet, right, in your books and all, right? So you should try to gain that knowledge which will help you in your career going forward actually.
yes. I think we have probably come to the very end. As per my clock, it is showing one. Yeah, I think we are totally out of time. I'm not sure whether this will automatically the time will get extended or not. But I thank you sincerely for a very engaging session, and I'm pretty sure that the students who attended have benefited a lot. So thanks to both of you. We can still continue if there is time and if there's some questions. If the platform allows, we can maybe finish off the questions. But I wanted to first thank to all of you, and you know, so there is one question that how much programming does an analyst, data analyst should know? How much of programming should they know? So I guess you
Not
have,
not at all. Not much of the programming they require to know,
yeah,
because with the latest tools and all, it is GUI driven UIs, etc. All as Rajat said, if you understand the data, you understand the business and the business problem. The tools are so sophisticated today. You need not require to program at all. Just by
yes,
dragging and dropping and clicking, right, you can be a one of the great player in the field of analytics actually.
yes. In fact, we have tools like K9 and Orange, which have come up, other than the traditional tools like SPSS and SAS, so which are drag and drop kind of tools. So using that, you can achieve the same output as the programming oriented tools. Yeah. So, yeah, so I think that is a very
And if at all the program is there, right, Supriyo, how much it will use the templated programming? Templated programming is, if I want to give an example of, we see our, mothers, sisters, and, our friends, the women are a very good Rangoli. They put up the Rangoli, they are expert in that. But, the men cannot do that. Others who are not expert cannot do it. But if you go to some pilgrimage places, right, you get some pipes where you can fill in that color and roll it, it gets come a wonderful pattern of Rangoli. So the templated programming is that, for every requirement, if at all they're programming, there is a set of 15, 20 lines of program pre-written. You just need to change the program with, your, parameters, and automatically that program can start working in you. You really need not write it with the programs with your own logic, etc. and all. Coding is almost immaterial or negligible in the case of, in the field of analytics or in the field of, data sciences or the career as an analytics.
yes. These days there are libraries available which can be used. Those libraries implement the common functions, most of the common functions which are used in machine learning. So using those libraries, you can just achieve your job in just a few lines of code. It's not difficult at all.
So we have one more question in the question bank. It states like how much programming does data analyst should know? It means to say
No,
that
no, that's what we
for the
just
technical role.
that's what we just discussed. But for the technical role, yeah, I guess yeah, you can go ahead, Mr. Thiru. Um,
So
Yeah.
for the
So for the technical
for
role
business
also, I told
development
you,
role, it's not required much.
yes, programming is totally, negligible or equivalent to not being there. For even a technical role in the case of data analyst and data scientist, okay, most of the tools are GUI driven. And if at all there is required, we, as Supriya also suggested, right, there's a common program for the templating programming. So almost it is negligible.
Sir, since you showed one slide regarding how data analytics is like in every domain, like for commerce, for computer science, and everything. So as of now, as a student of first year, should we go ahead for learning the skill, whichever electives we are choosing for our next term? What would be your views according on this?
Last part of the question, can you come back actually? Rajat, you got the question?
Sir, I mean to ask you, since we have electives in the next term, and since
Okay,
you told
electives, okay.
since you told that it is kind of this familiar with all the subjects, like if you go for
Yeah.
computer science, if you go for finance domain, if you go for HR domain or anything digital transformation. So as a student, what would be your advice for us in terms of learning, like to what extent should we have the knowledge of data analytics?
Wonderful. So if you look at in the 4 and 5, right, especially the 5, okay, if you're looking at the analytics sites for your elective to take up in the predictive analytics side, okay, predictive or prescriptive analytics side. This is one of the best of the analytics in the market, okay, which is in the forefront of the analytics, which involves your the data sciences also, and take up the elective on one of the business area, like in the finance area for some business function, or in the healthcare sector. Okay, finance, healthcare are on the forefront, and even in the retail. Okay, if you can understand, that is also the huge industry. In these of the 3 areas or any other domain, if love that domain, take up the predictive and prescriptive analytics part. And if you learn, if you want to be more exhaustive there, the smarter workflow, you can look into this 4th part. If you can see my screen, right? So for analytics, the 5th one area, go by the predictive and prescriptive analytics in one of the domain, especially healthcare and banking and retail, I suggest. Okay.
Healthcare, we don't have. Our areas are mainly the traditional areas like marketing, finance, HR, and digital and analytics. So healthcare, we do not have right now. So probably they'll have to take the other domains, that is marketing, finance, and HR.
you if you look at the marketing and the advertising side also, right? So Priyo, the predictive analytics and the prescriptive analytics will tell you better. For example, the marketing side, the ads, right? The advertisement is also, there is a specializations. I think predictive analytic, prescriptive analytic can do a very good elective there. And even on the HR side, you can predict the demand, you can predict the attritions in the industry. Okay, you can predict the trends, etc., and all to because the intellectual the asset of any business enterprise is one of the value oriented asset now. You can get everything in the business overnight except the intellectuality. So the HR domain becomes where the HR job becomes very crucial in this balancing scorecard. I think there also the people can take up this predictive and prescriptive analytics.
Yes, absolutely. So it can be done in combination with any of the domains. So provided you can learn the subjects.
Yeah. Yeah, see, as far as the subjects electives which are available, right, traditional ones, what I would suggest is, you should focus on, you do have electives on analytics, right? You should focus on that. You have operations research, right? You should focus on that, right? And build your base into this. These are all the building blocks actually. Okay, and side by side, you should gain knowledge on one of your interest domain areas as well, right? Finance is already, it is one of the elective, right? So, and finance is a very vast field, right? You can take that. Otherwise, if you talk about health, retail, and also a lot of information is available actually online, right? So choose these electives and then build your knowledge in one of the domain area of your interest, right? That is, I think, I can suggest for you.
Yeah.
The smarter workflows, right, for especially the business people who understands the processes, how the process transformation, especially to start up with. Okay, I think there is a lot of demand, and people taking up the selectives, having an idea and overview on that, right? Even during the companies, when they come for campus lifting for discussing the individuals to be a part of their organization. I think if the individual has such an orientation and the areas of awareness, right, they would be more overwhelmed to enhance their hiring numbers also.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it is most important that they should get their facts right, because analytics is a vast field, and it's extremely critical to to understand it, learn it properly, rather than learn very shallow manner and actually get wrong insights. So that is something that I would caution all the students that when you get into analytics, be sure that you're learning it properly and fully, and not just getting a partial view of the subject, okay? Because it can be very tricky otherwise, because it helps in decision making. So you don't want your organization to take wrong decisions based on your analytics. Okay, so you have to be careful about that. So I think we had a very long discussion, and a very informative and very interesting and engaging one. So I'll let Trisha do the final honors for the two gentlemen, our speakers.
Sir, we have one more questions. If you're okay with it, I'd like to read that thing out.
Yeah, sure. If they are okay, then
Yeah, please. Yeah, carry on.
So, sir, the question is, while reading blogs and communities, how effective is it to go for the online courses when it comes to data analytics?
Online courses when it comes to data analytics, right?
Yes, sir. How effective that would be?
Yeah. So, see, to start with online courses is a very good idea. You need to immediately do it. Okay. But you need to understand one thing. Okay. There are, couple of things, we need to understand from perspectives. Okay. Let me give a small example. Let me not be over, exaggerating it. But by the time we have completed our 10th class, we all of us know how to read and write in English. Does it mean that we have not studied thereafter in our higher secondary and our graduation, post-graduation, etc.? Because we know how to communicate, right? In English, we know the written and spoken English, because we answer our question paper in written and spoken English. What is that we read for? What is that we study for? Is the subject. So the online courses will enable you to become a good written and spoken communicator. But what do you communicate through written and spoken is the subjective. So fortunately, you don't have much of this, essence in the online courses. But of course, you need to start with online coaching, because at least you will know how to use a tool. Okay. But, what are the different, techniques of algorithms? Okay. What are the, the tools, and what is the capability of the tool? But which capability to use when? So this is where you need to engage into some classes, okay, where you can exchange your ideas, brainstorm on. So this is, if you look at it, it's known as data science. And the person working in this area, even though it's analytics is the core part of the data science, okay, it is known as data scientist. Okay, the data scientist could be a data analytics, okay, IAML model trainer, or it could be a data engineer, pipeline creator, but it's a scientist. Scientist doesn't do things mechanically, they do innovatively. So you need to understand the approach of attacking a problem. Okay, how do you discuss a problem? So these techniques are more relevant to you. Understanding the tools and technologies, and how to what are they, it is one aspect. Okay, it is only one aspect. You need to start up with online course. But to understand how to attack a problem, you need to have more and more discussion forums. You need to talk with the people who are experienced in this area. Might need to discuss businesses and brainstorm on yourself, and clear of so many the questions which come to mind. And you people especially, I'll tell you, very fortunate, because you have somebody like Supriyo, who is already has a vast industry experience, might clear most of your cases. But involved in group discussions among yourself, create groups, brainstorm. Okay, start with online, but these are the activities which will set you in the right tone, actually.
Thank you, sir. That was really insightful, and that entire session was insightful, because we are just round for the electives, and this would have been a great help to choose and make proper decisions before going for the subject. Thank you, sir.
Great. Thanks a lot. We, for all the time. Thanks, Supriyo. Thanks for giving us an opportunity to share our 2 cents with our this next gen professionals. Actually, thanks much, sir.
Thank you, Supriyo. Thanks, everybody.
Both of you, many thanks, and I sincerely hope that this is the beginning, the first such event. I'm pretty sure the students, all of them who have joined, have enjoyed and learned a lot, and they'll be looking forward to more such interactions with both of you. So I'm very hopeful. I'd like to leave the session with that hope that we'll be having more sessions, and maybe things like joint projects or things like that, or guest lectures and things like that, which we can have from you. So,
Sure.
so
Thank you.
thank you very much, and I wish you, both of you, a very wonderful holiday season and a very happy new year.
Thank you. Same to you, Supriya. Yeah, thank
Same
you.
to you, Supriya, and same to everybody. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Happy New Year, sir. Happy holidays. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.